Hey guys, Nolan here. A fellow subscriber asked, what should you be looking for when you go and check out barns? Before we do that, just a quick little reminder, why not hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified the moment I upload a new video? Okay, so here we go. You're looking for a new barn, you go check out these places. What are you really supposed to be looking for? I can tell you what most people are looking for. They're probably looking at the pretty arena, the tack room. It's heated in the wintertime, you know. How big is my stall? Does the stall have a window? Yeah, sure, that can all be really nice and pretty and great things to think about, but there are more important things that you should be looking at. And that's why today I'm going to go over 12 things that you need to keep in the back of your mind and look into when you go check out a barn for boarding. Alright, starting with number 1. Here we go. First thing I always do when I go look at a barn. How do the horses look? No, not just looking at, oh, look how pretty the horses are. No, take a deeper look at them. Are they chunky monkeys, or are there a lot of ribby boys and girls on property? This is going to pretty much tell you how the owner and the staff feed without actually telling you how they feed. Check the horses' coats. Are they shiny, or are they really dull? Even go even lower and check how the horses' feet are. Does it look like they regularly get their feet done, or have they looked like they've been missed for the last couple of months? All this is going to give you a general idea of how the care is without the person showing you around telling you how the care is. Also, we have a nice little saying in the writing community, which is show, don't tell. This is going to be a lot of showing without anybody telling you anything. Number 2, check the stalls and everything that comes with it. Check how the bedding is. I mean, everybody can say, we bed really well, and then you look into the stall and go,
all I see is mats.
They can also say how much they feed hay. Meanwhile, you can see in the stall how much manure is in there versus how much hay is in there. This will also tell you what kind of hay they are feeding. Check what's in the stall for water. Is it an automatic waterer? If so, how clean is it? Are there buckets? If so, how many buckets? Once again, how clean is it? This is all kind of giving you an idea of what the care is like. I mean, because here's honestly is the thing. The people showing you can tell you everything, give you all the right answers that you want to hear. But the stalls are probably going to give you a better answer. The real answer that you're looking for. Which then takes us right into number 3, which is the cleanliness of the barn. It's one thing to show up and look around the barn when, you know, first thing in the morning when they're doing morning chores. Yeah, it's going to be a little messy. That's pretty normal. But if you show up, you know, after turn-in, after PM feed, whatever, as everyone's kind of winding down for the day, and the barn is still a pigsty, that's going to tell you very clearly how day-to-day cleanliness is at the barn. Check, is there feed on the floor? Feed brings rodents. Just letting you know that. If you didn't figure that one out already, I'm just letting you know that. Is there binder twine on the ground with the loose hay? Is the ceiling covered in cobwebs? And I'm sure what you're going to say is, Nolan, you're being a little picky here, but these are safety hazards. I mean, just kind of think of it this way. If the barn is a pigsty when somebody's coming to check out the place, can you imagine what it's going to look like when we deal with a typical day? Number 4, turnout. Ask the questions. Do they offer individual turnout? Or is it only group turnout? Your horse and a buddy. How is the turnout situation? Are they really big paddocks with few horses in them? Or are there small paddocks with a lot of horses in them? Are the paddocks full of grass, dirt, or is it mud? And if it is to do with mud or dirt paddocks, is there hay out there for the horses? Another little piece of information, horses are grazers. They don't need to be eating a lot all day, but they still need to be eating something. As I say, they are grazers. And of course, if you ask the person showing you around, oh, do you put hay out for the horses? Mark my words, they're probably going to say, of course we put hay out for the horses. Why wouldn't we? They just ate it all. They can just say that even if they don't put hay out, just to kind of string you along. You're going to see 2 things. One, you'll either see hay out there that they haven't eaten, or you're going to see hay kind of mixed in with the mud or whatever. But I still have not yet been to a barn where hay goes out for them and horses eat every single little piece of that hay. There's always some little leftovers. So once again, they may say they put hay out, but look in the paddock and see if there's any hay left over. Ask how long are they out for? And I will get into this a bit later, but really just how long are they out for? Check the fencing. A lot of places might as well not have fences because the fences aren't doing their job. Be mindful of the quality of the fencing. And the waters. I always go on this about waters. Are the horses getting water outside? Pretty much everybody will say, of course they get water outside. Go to the trough and check. How much? How clean? How often do they check and refill it? Next thing to ask, Booting and blanketing. Chances are, if you ask them if they do booting and blanketing, they're going to say, yes, of course they do that. But what exactly does that mean? You know, there's a really quick way that I have found that you can check if they're telling the truth or not. Check the horses outside. Just gonna say that. Just check the horses outside. Are they wearing blankets outside? And are they wearing boots outside? If they offer booting, if there are boots more on the doors of the stalls inside and less on the horses outside, it's possible they say they offer it, but they maybe don't feel like putting it on. Is it cold outside? Yes. Are the horses outside wearing blankets? That was a little iffier because of, you know, do I blanket, don't I blanket? But chances are, you can still go with the boot situation. Are there more horses outside wearing boots, or more stalls inside have boots on the door? And also, when you talk about blanketing, what does that entail? Some barns will offer taking a blanket off, putting a different one on, especially if the horse gets sweaty or gets wet or whatever. Other barns will say, yeah, we do that, but then they leave the soaking wet blanket on for weeks, months at a time. So once again, open up your eyes a bit and really look at what's going on around you. Number 6, another question to ask is anybody on property? And part 2 would be, is anybody on property when the horses are outside? If your horse starts running around, is somebody going to be on property to bring it in? Or is this a barn like, well, I have a full-time job, so I put the horses out in the morning, I go to work, they enjoy their time outside, and I come home at 5 o'clock and feed them. No judgment here, just you should ask these questions so you know what exactly you're getting into. Number 7, does the barn run on a schedule? In a previous video, we spoke about what is expected when you run a boarding barn. If you haven't seen the video, I'll link to it right up there and I'll link down below. Give it a check out when you get a chance. In that video, we spoke about how important a routine is. And that's a question you should definitely ask the person who's showing you around the barn. Does the barn run on a schedule? What time are the horses fed? What time are they turned out? What time are they turned back in? What time is night check? Blah, blah, blah. Is there a schedule? Or is it one of those barns where I decided to wake up at 9 o'clock today and feed them? And tomorrow, well, if I decide to get up early at 7 o'clock, I'll feed them and turn them out. Or on weekends, I don't really feel like turning them out at all. Or get the answers now. Number 8. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty stuff. Some things that I personally start looking at. After all that's kind of taken care of, look at, say, the arena footing. I know it sounds like a little nitpicky, but remember, this is what you're going to be riding on a lot of the time, especially if you're doing a certain discipline. Is the footing too hard? Is it too deep? Ask, how much does it get harrowed? Is it too dusty? Figure out these things before you start taking your horse right on in. As much as it doesn't seem like it, because you're riding the horse at that point, this is still to do with the horse's care. It's their joints going up and down in that footing. It's their lungs inhaling that dust if it's there. So this is something, as I say, it might seem really nitpicky or, oh, well, that's just the footing. No, the footing is a big thing. Check it out, ask the questions, make your own judgment call. Okay, so number 9, and this is one that I've recently, before I moved to the place I'm at now, this is one that really just kind of like blew my mind. I didn't think I'd ever have to ask about it, but well, shit, we are dealing with horse people, so I really should know better than to assume anything. So, this is about asking, what's the lighting situation? Are you allowed to use the lights? At what time of the day are the lights allowed to go on? It's pitch black outside. Can I put the lights on while I'm in the arena? This sounds ridiculous, and I will not lie, I still think it's very ridiculous that I have to bring this up. Because this should be all taken care of in your business plan. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen the whole business plan video, definitely check it out right up there and down below. This should be a part of the business plan from the barn owner standpoint. This should have nothing to do with the boarders per se. But after dealing with one crazy ass nut job, I'm putting it in this video to spare everybody the shock of this mess. So just ask, can you use the lights? Can you turn on the lights? The lights are there. Are we allowed to use them? Sounds crazy. Just ask. It can be very annoying to go into a barn, especially if you're a person who rides in the evening, and get told, oh, you can't use the lights. Just a heads up. Okay, number 10. Ask about feeding. What do they feed? How often do they feed? What kind of feed do they offer? Ask about grain details. Ask about hay types. Is it first cut or is it second cut hay? Square bales or round bales? All these things matter. Number 11. This has more to do with people who are looking to take lessons in this, that, and the other, but it should still be put in here. Ask about coaching. If you're interested in taking lessons, is there a coach or coaches on site that you are expected to use? Or are you allowed to bring in your own coach? If you're allowed to bring in your own coach, what does the barn need from you? Meaning coaching insurance, certificates, all that fun stuff. Or is there a specific schedule you need to fit in with your lessons? And are there more than one lesson allowed to go on at once? Ask right then and there. Because if you are a person who's looking for boarding and you're looking to bring in your own coach and they say we don't allow outside coaches, best to figure that out before you move in, right? And finally, number 12, who on your team is allowed? This is a quick one because especially for people like myself who have my specific team members, like acupuncturist, my massage therapist, my farrier, my vet, blah, blah, blah. I have a whole realm of people on my team. Many places out there who say, if you come into this barn, you need to go with this vet. If you come in this barn, you need to go with this farrier. Ask those questions right now, because if there are specific people on your team you do not want to get rid of, this is going to be a deal breaker. And that's pretty much it. 12 things on a checklist that you can ask yourself and kind of think about when you go and look at a barn. It doesn't mean you have to check off all these 12 things off of your list to be able to go to the barn, but figure out what you can deal with, what you can't deal with. Also, I know because when we go and check barns out, we kind of get caught up in certain things. Some people get really caught up in the aesthetic of everything, how pretty the barn is, or how big the arena is, or how pretty the stalls are, or, oh look, there's grooming stalls, or whatever. People get caught up in that. Sometimes you have to push away all the shininess, the flair, the sparklies, and look at what exactly you're getting into. You can enjoy that, but look past that. Look at these 12 things and figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and is the person showing you around hiding things that they kind of evading certain topics? That's what you need to deal with. And that's pretty much everything I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think of today's video. Or maybe there's some things that I've missed. Let me know down below. And while you're at it, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, it's a little thing, but it really does go a long way. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, why not hit the subscribe button and join the Little Cruiser Guild yourself? We have new videos up every week for your entertainment, but also to make this horse world make a bit more sense. And that's pretty much everything for today. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I am Nolan M Cruz. I'll talk to you. See you next time. Ciao!